Hello, hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson show. Live watch-along, bit of NBL action for you tonight. The Brisbane Bullets up against the Cairns Taipans, the Sunshine Stoush for Thursday night hoops in the NBL. Really looking forward to where things sit after this one. A few of the sides have been in the market for some new players, and both these sides are expecting to debut new stars, I guess you'll call them. Mojave King returns to the NBL, the former NBA draftee. He'll turn out for the Taipans tonight, we expect. While for the Brisbane Bullets, they've brought in another star. But the big talking point overall is that Jack McVeigh has been named for the Taipans tonight as well. So he was one of their best performers before he succumbed to a wrist injury. So looking forward to seeing what he can deliver. Plenty of basketball news getting around. There's some stories coming around now that Casey Prather and his whole family, his wife obviously working for the NBL coverage as well, are going to be applying for permanent residency. So that's quite exciting as well to see some of these players being focused on becoming Australians. He said he wants to become an Australian citizen in due course. So will eventually, hopefully, be eligible for the Boomers as well. Potential option. Depending on how long it takes for that to all happen and get done. So certainly looking forward to seeing what comes of that as we see the teams getting set to make their way onto the arena for the first time. Looking forward to this. Of course, if you didn't catch last night's game, the Wildcats getting it done down in the Apple Isle there in Tasmania. 95-84 win for the Wildcats. We've got about 11 minutes till tip off in the Sunshine Stoush. So let's have a bit of a look back at that game. As I said, 95-84. They finished with a flurry in the second half. It was 41-37. The Jack Jumpers led by 4 at halftime. And an 8-point third quarter margin, followed by a 7-point fourth quarter. Saw the Wildcats get home. It was JLA, Joe Lawal-Achul Jr. leading the way, 23 points. Elijah Pepper putting up 19 as well. And plenty of assists all around. Dante Russo-Nance leading the way with 7 assists. Joe Lawal-Achul 6. David Okwera 6 as well. Jaron Riley put up 11 points. Doolittle 14. Plenty of contributors. Good to see Jesse Wagstaff back. Probably need to see a few more minutes from him. Only 11 minutes for the Wildcats. While for the Jack Jumpers, no surprises. Bryce Hamilton, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. That's a big stat sheet in a loss, unfortunately. Nick Marshall, 15 points. Josh Bannon, 15 points. Josh Bannon working the boards with 8 rebounds, doing quite well. Tiger Campbell getting 7 assists and 12 points to accompany that. But a night where, despite some decent shooting at 50% from the field and 40% from 3, it just wasn't enough for the Jack Jumpers. They created 65 shots in total to 72, which is the difference for the Perth Wildcats. So just too strong. They shot at 46% from 3, which is absolutely close to lights out. Really 2 from 3. Henschel 2 from 4. Some really strong numbers there. And Elijah Pepper 5 from 6. He had the hot hand. He was flame throwing from the deep. So well done to the Wildcats. It certainly livens things up a little bit in terms of tightening up that chase for those play-in and play-off bottom spots. Obviously, we're only about a quarter of the way through the season or so for most of these teams. So still plenty of time, plenty of twists and turns to come in the season that is. But let's, again, talk through those standings. And we'll start at the bottom. It is that tonight's combatants, the Cairns Taipans, sitting equal last with 2 wins from their 9 matches. They're 2-7. They've only won once away from home this season. Equal with them, New Zealand Breakers, slightly, well, actually significantly better points percentage. New Zealand Breakers, 93% points. They've scored 781 points, almost 100 points more than Cairns in their 9 games. Cairns are really struggling from that point of view. They are averaging just over 75 points a game at the moment, while they're conceding more than 90. I think it's up around 95 that they're conceding at the moment. So, yeah, really concerning for them. That's a pretty disparate margin that's going on. So we'll see how they turn that around tonight. Then go to the Illawarra Hawks. They're 2 and 4. They've obviously just brought in QJ Peterson, which is going to be a good addition for them, you would think, in terms of how things sit. But again, time will tell. Things on paper always look good. They don't necessarily look as good in real life. Then we head up to the other side tonight, the Brisbane Bullets. They are 3 and 6. A win tonight would lift them above the Sydney Kings. So we'll see how they go. That'd lift them up to a 40% win-loss ratio. Whereas a win for Cairns would just lift them above New Zealand, up one spot off the bottom of the ladder. So we'll see how that goes. Brisbane Entertainment Centre ready to go. The big men will be trying to go to work for Brisbane. Then go up to the Sydney Kings 3 and 5. The Tasmania Jack Jumpers 5 and 4. Equal with them on 5 and 4, but after last night's win, a much better points percentage. They are in the greater than 100 category, whereas Tasmania just under 100. Is the Perth Wildcats in 4th. The Adelaide 36ers 5 and 2 in 3rd, also 5 and 2. South East Melbourne Phoenix, they sit in 2nd, but everyone is trailing by some distance our runaway leaders, the Melbourne United side. 9 and 0. What a season they have gotten off to a start. We're only talking about them in our latest Substack article, and the fact that it's really hard to see what they're missing. They've still got Shea Ili to come back. You throw him into the mix on this team that's got Dash Daniels and Chris Golding, the two extremes, I guess, when it comes to experience. The youthful exuberance versus the resolveful and wily veteran. And yeah, it's certainly looking good for Melbourne United with how stacked they are. You throw in Shea Ili, like their second defensive unit, it's already nearly as good as their first. They are absolutely killing it. Edwards and Walker are great for them. This is just Tanner Krebs is going so well. It's a stacked side. So yeah, good luck catching them. I think I said with Nathan Campbell on our NBL episode earlier this week, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a side that maybe puts up a 27 and 5 sort of season. I'd be surprised if they lose less than, say, 3 or 4. But again, you never say never with some of these pieces. But again, big game tonight. Brisbane, the favourites. Cambo's shot through his tips. He's backing lots of players to get into double figures. Xavier Mathias is one of those, the new import for Brisbane. He is tipping quite some points for Brisbane. I think he said he's got them going to win by 14 or more, or 13 or more. So it'll be very interesting to see how it all shapes. He's got Jalen Adams, Casey Prather, Harrison, and Mathias all to get 10 or more points as well. So, as I said, they do head in favourites. It's not the first time these sides have clashed this season. They played back in, I think it was round 2. So early in the season, up in Cairns, and it was the Taipans, who, despite the fact they are now on a 5-game losing streak, that did get the job done by 1.8382 up there at the Cairns Convention Centre. So looking forward to seeing whether they can get a repeat dose, I suppose. But as it sits at the moment, if we look back at that game, it was Admiral Schofield, one of his better games. He and Jack McVeigh led the scorers, 19 points each. McVeigh, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. And again, that's what they're going to need tonight. Jack McVeigh to put on a show. We need a couple of players to go with him. Can the big man in Marcus Lee pull down some boards and get the work done? Admiral Schofield, can he throw that frame around? And can they find some outside shooting? Rain Smith, can he get going? I think that game might have been the first game we saw Andrew Andrews as well. So looking forward to seeing how that goes. But obviously that was a different time. That was when the Bullets had Javon Freeman Liberty playing for them. Casey Prather and Tyrell Harrison have stepped up since then. Casey Prather is averaging 24 and a bit points a game at the moment. 6 rebounds, 3 assists as well. So he's lighting up some big numbers. We know the sort of caliber of player he is, and he's just starting to find that again. Jalen Adams is starting to fire at different points. So things are starting to look like some green shoots, I think. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with the Bullets just yet, but I think we're starting to see some green shoots. We've seen some good wins from them. We've seen some tough losses. That fight back win last weekend was such a key one. They were over there in New Zealand. They trailed by 24 points in the second quarter and came back to win it by 1 late in the game. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. But they've got plenty of points in the Bullets if they can get going, and that's got to be a concern for a team with a leaky defence like Cairns. So Adam Ford undoubtedly has been working on that defence, putting the pressure on their side and telling them what needs to be delivered here. in round 7 action. Remembering, as I said, the second game of round 7, the Wildcats won the Ignite Cup game to kick off round 7 last night down in Tasmania at My State Bank Arena. But we're now at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre and we are all set for a big game. And it looks like it'll be starting lineups of Murray, Dukas, Devers, Prather and Harrison. Dakota Mathias will be on the bench for, I called him Xavier Mathias before. I'm not sure where I pulled that one from. Dakota Mathias will be on the bench for Brisbane. Hey, different. The game will be underway in a couple of minutes, mate. I think it's about 2 or 3 minutes till tip off, so not far now. So then we'll have a bench of Adams, Dalton, Purchase, Mathias, and Jensen Bradkey. Obviously a very famous name in Australian basketball circles. Then for Cairns, they're going with, probably unsurprisingly, Rain Smith, Admiral Schofield, Jack McVeigh back in the lineup, which is huge for them. Andrew Andrews and Marcus Lee to start. They've then got Lloyd McVeigh, Mawat Mag, Kyle Adnam, Kyron Galloway, Mojave King, and Lachlan Barker coming off the bench. They're starting to look like a bit more rotation there, a bit more shooting. So looking forward to seeing how King can go, of course. I mentioned him a little bit earlier on. He is back in for his first game. He's a Kiwi heritage, New Zealand American, I think born in Dunedin. But yeah, went to high school in Brisbane. So it's a full circle for him to go back to the Taipans. He played there back in 2020-21 after starting out his professional career with some NBL 1 action with the Brisbane Capitals. He spent some time at the Adelaide 36ers after that and then went over to the G League, the New Zealand Breakers. He was drafted in 2023 with the 47th pick by the LA Lakers, but didn't actually get a chance to suit up in the NBL in the NBA proper. He's been over most recently with the Tauranga Whai in the New Zealand NBL. So good to see him back in action. Looking forward to that a little bit later tonight. And tip-off is imminent. So can't wait to see what comes of it. Of course, if this is your first time tuning in, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell as well. You get some notifications about when we're going live. We are endeavouring to get more and more games of the NBL up on the watch-alongs where we can. Also got a bit of cricket. If there's any of you out there that are cricket fans, I know we normally get plenty of American guys watching this, so cricket probably not your forte, although you might want to get familiar with it. It's going to be in the LA Olympics, I'm told. So we're doing some watch-alongs, big clashes at the moment, Australia and India in a T20 series heading into one of the biggest series called the Ashes, where Australia take on England. Lots of Aussies will be familiar with that, but we're underway here. Taipans up against the Bullets. Glover is a gun, Wembyama. He's been pretty good for Southeast Melbourne. Won't be in action tonight. Taipans get the first points of the match. Nice little layup. Get that scoreboard ticking along. Brisbane working it around. Trying to get isolation for Harrison. Can't do it. Prather goes to work. Fades away, misses the shot, but draws a foul. I think you'll find he'll go to the line for 2 early on, Casey Prather. Let us know where you're tuning in from as well, guys. And as I said before, hit subscribe if you want to keep up to date with some of the other stuff we're doing. You can find us on most of the major social media channels. We're pretty active on Instagram and TikTok, a little bit on X and Facebook as well, at The Chris Mack Show. You can also find us with our Substack, which will give you plenty of updates about the basketball. Cambo, who's quite often on these, will be dropping some articles around the NBL and NBA and thoughts. So those of you that like to have a little bit of a bet or want to know a bit more about the competition, there'll be plenty of intel in that Substack. So you can find us at The Chris Mack Show on Substack as well. And you can subscribe, get those in your emails. They are all free subscriptions at this stage, no paid ones. So absolutely nothing to lose as Andrew Andrews gets it done, does he? No, just spits back out. Score stays 2-1. As we said, this is a key game for these two sides, just trying to get a bit of momentum and continue forward. Oh, that's a nice move in and under. Too good there from the Bullets. Murray gets a bucket, gives them the lead for the first time. Just swarming defence, the Bullets at the moment, not giving Cairns an inch of space. Brisbane forced the turnover. Murray with a 3, drains it. Open up a 4-point lead early. Cairns get one back. Fairly high tempo basketball early here. Can we see these guys work out? Oh, beautiful block there from McVeigh. But has he taken it out of bounds? Adam Ford's thinking about challenging this, is he? No, he's not going to. So McVeigh got the block, but when he brought it down, just put his heel on the baseline. So it'll be Brisbane inbound at the offensive end. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. Plenty of Americans on the last couple of games. As Prather gets another 2. Certainly get involved in the comments. Hit subscribe down below as well. Love to be able to keep you up to date as these games continue on. And just a reminder, Brisbane, last round when we did their game, they were trailing by 24 in the second quarter and came back and won that game by a point. And the comeback kings at the moment. Missed 3 there for Alex Dukas. Correct that scoreboard. As McVeigh draws the foul. Big in for Cairns, getting their captain Jack McVeigh back. He's been out with a wrist injury and he carried it for a couple of games before he succumbed to it and missed last weekend. Makes the first. Cairns get the lead back. It's both of them, sorry. So 7-6 to the Taipans. Diva's trying to work some magic. Dukas for Prather. Prather, quick ball. Big step back outside the arc. Couldn't get it done. Marcus Lee at the last touch. No, they're saying that it came off Harrison. He's quickly calling for the coach's challenge. But it's been overruled anyway, so they don't need to use the coach's challenge. Marcus Lee did get the last touch, and it'll be inbound for Brisbane. We'll do what we can. There's 3 minutes gone so far. Fury Fighter. So in the first quarter at the moment. So 3 minutes gone in that first quarter. Prather into Harrison. Good to have you tuning in from Vegas, mate. And a bucket for Brisbane. They get the lead back. Bullets trying to do what they can with it here. They find an open look. So the Taipans out wide, and that's 3 points. Rain Smith. That's what they've been looking for from the youngster. Spent some time with the Australian Boomers in the Asian Cup recently. Casey Prather gets 2 points back to level us up at 10 apiece. 6:20 on the clock. As I was saying, Rain Smith was part of that young Australian side. Had a lot of the Australian NBA players out of action that won the Asian Cup recently. Marcus Lee, a little bit of a fumble and then a missed shot. Rebound taken. Divas does well. Plenty of work to be had here. They're big sweeping passes from the Bullets. They're trying to make the Taipans move in defence. A shoot over the top. That is a nice 3-pointer from Murray. Oh, apologies. It's Dukas with the 3-pointer. 13-10. They lead Brisbane here. Almost midway through this first quarter. Andrew Andrews is going to do it all himself. Over the top of Harrison. Gets 2 back. It's a to and fro game, end to end. No one mucking about. Plenty of shots taken. Fast ball movement. Harrison thinks about using himself as a roll screen, but just goes to the bucket, gets 2 points. 15-12. Rain Smith already at the 5 points. Murray 5 points for the Bullets. Nice three-pointer for the Taipans. Levels is at 15. Harrison, bit of space outside the arc, trying to get the work done. These sides just going toe-to-toe. Prather's going to draw two defenders. They can't quite get the mismatch or the overload. 5 on the shot clock. Murray, turn around, fader, beautiful. 17-15. This is some good basketball from both sides. Taipan shooting at 67%. The Bullets at 70%. They're the sorts of numbers that'll put bums on seats. Missed shot. Harrison with the rebound. Again, let us know where you're tuning in from. Good to have people from the US so far. And let us know whereabouts. Obviously, Fury tuning in from Vegas. 4 minutes remain in the first quarter. Taipans in possession, trying to level it up, and they do level it up. That's a nice bucket. McVeigh with another 2 points. Has he been fouled in the shot? He has. Such an expert at just drawing that foul as he takes the shot. It's a little overzealous from Dukas, so he'll have the chance to give the Taipans the lead back. He'll step up to the free throw line with it tied at 17s. Drains that. Nothing but net from McVeigh. Fix that score up. There we go. Taipans 18-17, they lead. Jalen Adams, the former MVP, now out there. The 1-2 with Prather. Adams looks for three early. Doesn't go. Rebound taken. Looks like Mawat Mag out there on the floor. Kyron Galloway as well. That's a big three for the Taipans. They open up their biggest lead of the match, and that's a timeout for the Bullets. Kyle Adnam runs a sweep play. McVeigh drops it back to Rain Smith, who's a good 1.5 meters outside the arc. And he is shooting well tonight. He is 100%. He's 2 from 2 outside the arc, 1 from 2 inside the paint. He has 8 points. Jack McVeigh leads all scorers with 9. We've got 3:37 on the clock in this first quarter. It is game on here in Brisbane. Cairns have come out slightly faster, but both sides at a frenetic pace. Brisbane shooting's just dropped off a little. They're 7 from 12. Cairns 8 from 12. 3 from 3 from the three-point range, though, the Taipans. What answer can Brisbane find here? Stu Lash needs to work his magic. The first-year coach at the Bullets. Good to have a handful of you with us. If you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe down below. Click on the bell as well, and that'll give you notifications every time we are going live with our live watch-alongs. I'm trying to do at least one around. If we can get some more in, we will. For the NBL this season. I know last week we got quite a few fans tuning in from America, getting into the NBL for the first time, the first season they've gotten into it. So great to have you following our basketball. We love watching the NBA as well from here. Great having more basketball in more time slots. As Casey Prather gets 2 back for the Bullets. We'll see some ex-NBA stars gracing the NBL at the moment, and then we've got the next stars that roll out into the NBA. Low ball a couple of years ago here. That's a nice play from the Taipans to get another 2 back through Galloway. Brisbane with a 3 in response. Dakota Matthias, their new import. Purdue College Star. Is that a foul on Casey Prather? So, yeah, Matthias has spent some time with the 76ers and the Grizzlies previously. Most recently been playing in the G League with the Indiana Mad Ants. Only played just over a dozen games in the NBA in his 2 seasons, but it's quite a few more than I have, or probably most of you as well. So another former NBA player getting through the NBL. Great to see. Taipans get the stop. And Galloway draws the foul. He's getting up to the basket and just fouled on the way through. He'll go to the line. Just over 2 minutes left in this first quarter. 1 point in it at the moment. Kyron Galloway at the line for the Taipans. We can turn the volume up a little bit better. Hopefully that's better for you, Chef. Seems to be coming through pretty good on my test screen, so it should be good for you now, hopefully. Kaz, you got Brisbane to win. Well, they went in as favourites. Galloway gets a bucket to extend the lead out to 2. Galloway again, back to back, leads back to 3 for the Taipans. Where are you joining us from, Chef and Kaz? Good to have you on board. If you haven't already, we'd appreciate it if you gave the video a like, hit subscribe down below so you can keep up to date with the future videos that we drop on the NBL. We've got plenty of content coming. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing, Kaz, that you can't watch it in America. Glad we can keep you up to date, though. Just over 90 seconds left in the first here. Admiral Schofield back out there for the Taipans. Little fadeaway jumper, hits the front of the rim. No points. Yeah, Schofield has been quiet, Chuck. Jalen Adams with a deep open 3 and misses. Kyle Adnam will bring it back up court. 25-22. Taipans lead. 1:15 to go. Mojave King. Oh, he's an interesting one. Had a lot of potential. Was drafted 47th by the Lakers a couple of years ago. Never really made the breakthrough. Open 3 again for the Bullets, and again they miss. They're starting to run cold a little here, the Bullets, inside the last minute of the first quarter. Now, what do we got? Swing ball out. Schofield gives off. Adnam. Galloway. Mojave King leaves it well short. Rebounds his own ball. Puts it in underneath. There's Schofield getting a bucket. The best NBL player, Bryce Cotton. He put up a 53-point game earlier this year. He's won 5 MVPs. He transferred from the Perth Wildcats to the Adelaide 36ers this year. But he is, I would suggest he's possibly, in the conversation as one of the best players to ever have played in the NBL alongside Andrew Gaze, who any of you who followed the San Antonio Spurs a couple of decades ago might have seen. Gaze played on their roster for a little bit. He was a big part of the Boomers for a long time and still commentates and coaches over here. But yeah, certainly Bryce Cotton at the moment by a little bit. He's absolutely leading Adelaide to the reason they're sitting equal second. 3 points with 15 on the clock for the Bullets. Gets it back to 2 points. Taipan should have the last use of it here in the first quarter. Yeah, he's well worth watching. Check out in Adelaide. I know it's hard for you guys over there in the US, but check out some of the highlights of some of the Adelaide games. You have a look. I think it was against Cairns actually earlier this year. So if you have a look, he put 53 points up. And that's quarter time, 27-25. Cairns get the honours in the first quarter. Take a quick run through the stats. And at this stage is Jack McVeigh leading all comers. 9 points, 3 assists. Rain Smith, 8 points. He's got 3 from 3. Shot 2 from 2 outside of 3. For the Bullets, 7 points for Murray. No other stats to speak of. 5 points for Casey Prather. 3 rebounds, 2 assists as well. So they're leading the way. I'm not quite sure what the line was pre-game, but I can have a look now as to what the books are saying. Enjoying VFL. Let me bring that up over here. Use a different device. It's obviously good for the neutral punters if the overs is going well, but get rid of that. Let's go basketball. Brisbane still favourites to win the game. Total points, including overtime, sitting at 186. So what are they saying? About 46 a quarter. So just over, I'd say, in that first quarter. Look, Cairns have the worst defence in the NBL. Brisbane have a number of players who can score quickly. Cairns have some players that can get on a bit of a run. Jack McVeigh back in. I'm not really punting on it, but there's a lot of things that would point towards the overs. These guys are playing at a fairly frenetic tempo, but the thing we've found in recent weeks with a lot of these games is you'll have a big scoring quarter and then a low scoring quarter. Yeah, you can certainly bet on Melbourne United at the moment. 9-0. They've got some absolute superstars. A young guy called Dash Daniels, who's part of the NBL Next Stars program. He's the younger brother of Dyson Daniels, who's at the Atlanta Hawks, I think. And yeah, Dash is. They're sort of projecting that he'll go somewhere in next year's NBA draft at the moment between maybe 4 and 10. So he's one to keep an eye on there. He'll be pretty impressive. He actually had the job last week in the first second game between Melbourne United and Adelaide of guarding Bryce Cotton that I was talking about before. Furphy, Fury, you've got -5.5 Brisbane. You like that? That's the live line at the moment too. So they fought back from 24 points down last week, Brisbane. They were 24 points down in the second quarter against the Breakers and came back and won that. So yeah, never rule them out. They're one of those sides that can run red hot. New Zealand went to sleep though. Schofield tries to force the turnover, but bats it out of bounds. We're back underway. We're into the second quarter. I'll just update the scoreboard so that it shows that. There we go. That should be updated for all of you now. Into the second quarter. Only a few seconds gone. So whereabouts in the US are you joining us from, guys? Be fairly early hours over there. I know we had one person joining us from Las Vegas just before. Fury, you're over in Vegas, you're saying? Let us know. And again, appreciate it if you're enjoying the commentary. Hit subscribe. We're bringing you plenty of these games throughout the season. Also, give the video a like if you haven't already. That'd be wonderful. Taipans with the inbound. I was about to say they're going from right to left of your screen, but that's not much good if you can't see it. 3-point shot, finds the back of the rim. Harrison takes the rebound. 30 seconds gone in the second quarter. No score here in the second just yet. Bullets looking to find something. They swing it out to Adams. He thinks about the open three from very deep, but drives into the paint and ties the scores up 27 apiece, and he's going to go to the line. Copped a clip on the way through. Just a little tap on the arm. Marcus Lee trying to block the shot. Got some arm rather than arm after the swat, just on the way down. So to give the Bullets the lead. 12 lead changes already. Make that 13. The home side leads by 1. A minute gone in the second quarter. Now Andrew Andrews. Are you guys able to bet live in play via your betting apps, etc., over in the US now? Something in Australia they still don't let us do. Andrew Andrews is going to go to the line. Still restrict it. You got to ring up to place a bet when it's in play. Ring up the betting agency. Don't really understand that myself, but anyway, let me know. you can bet live. So is that just via an app, Fury? Andrews ties us back up 28 apiece. Yeah, right. Be nice if we could do that here. Yeah, so Dellavedova's, he moved this year from Melbourne to the Sydney Kings. He has been, and I say this as a Sydney Kings fan, Kaz, he has been very, very, very quiet this year. Got himself and another guy, Kendrick Davis, who was the runner-up MVP in the league, and a lot of people thought Sydney were going to go really well. And they're currently sitting, I think, 6th or 7th out of 10 teams. Ball out of bounds. I think it'll be Bullets ball, or are we going to have a foul here? Sorry, it's 29-28. That's my mistake. I missed the second free throw going up. It's going to be a foul, but no, it's going to be an out of bounds. Adams with the inbound. Quick jump shot. I think that'll just be 2. It will be 2 points for Alex Dukas. Brisbane get the lead back. It's really seesawing and tiptoeing back and forth. Andrews, nice little bounce pass inside for McVeigh. Yeah, he certainly is. I'll tell you what, we're having a chat the other night on our stream. Ben Simmons, what are your thoughts on him, guys? Are there any sides in the NBA that should sign him? We're suggesting maybe one of the NBL sides should make a play for him. Obviously, he was highly touted. The AFL, you're chasing the under. Yeah, playing at a pace. No, I don't bet on the games too much. I just sort of watch along most of the time. Should you guys watch and bet on a lot of the NBA as well? 2.5 gone. 8 on the shot clock for Brisbane. Trying to find, Adams finds a bounce pass for Harrison. No look pass. Finds Dukas. If they pull off a score from there, that would have been outrageous. Andrews takes the rebound. Yeah, it did take a U-turn so fast. I mean, he's a free agent now, I think. So there was talk that he might pick up a contract, but not looking likely at the moment. But that's what happens when you focus on the Jenners and Kardashians more than your basketball. I think he wanted to be an influencer rather than a basketball player and just thought the rest of it would take care of itself. 31-30. Cairns keep holding this 1-point lead. Almost 3 minutes gone in the second. Adams trying to work some space. Prather just decides he'll take a pop 3. Doesn't get it. Bounces back though for Adams. Shot clock resets. They've got 10 seconds now. Yeah, nice work, Fury. We're going to have another foul here. Schofield calling for a challenge. Schofield wants to challenge this. And Adam Ford is going to challenge it. Yeah, it certainly can, Kaz. I used to work for a betting agency a few years ago, so I have seen a little bit of the other side of it, and I enjoy a bet every now and then, but yeah, certainly not to the level I used to. Happy with the challenge. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a tough one. It looks like he might have just fumbled the ball. What are you thinking, guys? Interesting. Yeah, it just looks like he's mishandled that. I don't know if Schofield has actually fouled him. And Prather's wanted on the head. Challenge is successful. No foul. It's successful, mate. Just came through. Challenge is successful for Cairns. I think that will be a jump ball because it was still in bounds. No free throws. Just trying to have a look at what the jump ball outcome is. No, we are actually going to go centre court jump ball, are we? Yep. The referees are just pulling it up. Not much happening at all. We're not going anywhere. 6:48 on the clock in the second quarter. Yeah, AFL is a pretty wild game, isn't it? We're pretty lucky over here. We've got some really high-quality physical sports from the rugby codes and AFL. Oh, that's a poor pass. Backcourt violation. No look pass over the top from Dukas. And Prather had a leap going out of bounds and turns it over. And that's a bucket for the Taipans. After all that, it took a while between drinks, but we got there with some more points. Brisbane quickly go the other end and respond. Tane Murray gets 2 back. Quick ball movement for the Taipans. Yeah, I think AFL's kind of got that unique novelty to it, whereas rugby league and rugby union kind of have been seen by a lot. But I know that the rugby league they take games every year now over to Vegas to start the season, so they play there at Allegiant. I think it's Allegiant Stadium there. That's going to be free throws for Adams for the Bullets. But yeah, so that's become a bit of a piece. But I think it's mostly sort of travelling Aussie fans. Have you checked it out, Fury? That's a game I grew up on, rugby league. Played a lot of it, and then rugby union as I got older. So both the rugby codes. Hard to tell the difference if you're not au fait with them. Well worth it. It's a very different experience, I think. I don't know how expensive they've got the tickets and things. That's always a pretty big consideration, I suppose. Yeah, fair enough. Each their own. No, we've got Andrews going to the line here. Let's have a tech foul. He drains one. And now we're going to go back down the other end for the original foul, are we? Yeah, they can be if you've been in trouble, Kaz. Just depends on what sort of trouble. Not that you need to fill us in, but yeah, it's they've turned a few people around over recent times, including some well-known people. Harrison gets another bucket for the Bullets. We're all locked up, 34 each, 5:40 to go here in the second quarter. Schofield for 3, drains it. That is a nice, clean shot from the wing. Prather goes down the other end, doesn't go. They get the stop. Schofield doing the hard work. Andrews going in, and that was optimistic at best. Yeah, look, it's a pretty good place to live. I won't deny that. I've been to a few other countries. I haven't been over to the US yet. Certainly on the list of places to get to at some point, especially come over and watch some of the US sports. Andrews, though, drew the foul, so he's going to go to the line to extend the lead for Cairns. Yeah, they probably should. They're actually shooting similar numbers, so both sides four from 3. Outside the arc. The free throws are really the difference at the moment. Cairns 8 from 8, make that 9 from 9. And literally the 5-point difference is the extra free throws. Still a long way to go though, Fury. So the one thing that a lot of Americans don't realise with Australia is that where you've got quite a lot of sort of mid to larger cities spread throughout the country, the middle of Australia is essentially empty. 90% of Australians live, I think it's within 50 or 60 kilometres of our coastline. Admittedly, we've got a much smaller population as the Bullets get 2 back. Just past the midpoint of the second quarter, 4:47 on the clock. And the Bullets get another. Back to 1 point. Here they come. Timeout, Taipans. Any one of you get around the baseball the other night, that 18 innings World Series game? That was wild. It's good to watch over here. It was nice through the sort of middle of the day for us in Australia. Yeah, Brisbane aren't much better, but they've probably got a bit more experience on paper, and they're at home. They've got a decent record there. Cairns got their wins early in the season, and they've been pretty ordinary. I think they've lost 5 or 6 in a row now. Yeah, look, the bookies know how to make their money. They wouldn't be in business if they didn't make money, I suppose. I take it you're talking the baseball fury, the extra innings. It was good for me during the daytime hours, having it on in the background here while I was working away. Montrez, no, he's not. He was at Adelaide, so he was at the same team as that Bryce Cotton I was saying about before. They were supposed to be absolutely red hot stars. Started with the two of them, and then I think he got some sort of ban for. He tested positive while he's over in China playing, and yeah, so he tested positive, maybe to like a CBD, marijuana, something like that. It wasn't exactly clarified, and then it all got a bit messy. And so I'm pretty sure he's a free agent at the moment, Trez. Enjoying VFL? No, mate, I don't think so. I think I've met enough professional athletes and professional sportsmen to probably think that some of them, not all of them, probably don't have the intellectual capacity to be that organised, and especially some of the sports administrators. So yeah, I don't think so. Don't take that the wrong way. There are some very intelligent, high end smarts guys that are playing multiple sports. There's also some others that are, sports is probably the best career output for them. Horse racing, that could be a different story. Some of that, especially the harness racing. Kyle Adnam gets his first free throw. 4 on the clock. We're all tied up at 40s. There's 4s everywhere. Make that 41. I said it a couple of times. The few of you who've been on since the start will be sick of hearing it. But if you're just jumping on for the first time and you haven't before, make sure you hit subscribe. We'd love it if you could hit the like as well. Jump into the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. You can also hit the bell down next to the subscribe button, and that'll give you notifications when we go live and our episodes drop. As Harrison gets up and over the rim. Yeah, 3:38 left in the half at the moment. We got 31 points this quarter, something like that so far. Three points. Casey Prather. All of a sudden, Brisbane out to a 4-point lead. Well, Fury, you'd be happy if they stay as they are now. They've just got in front of that. Casey Prather's your man. Only one player on the court so far in double digits, Jack McVeigh. Yeah, Kaz, looks like they are getting hot. So do you need Brisbane by exactly 3 or more than 3, Fury? Probably going to start confusing a few people in a little bit because I'll start talking about some of the cricket that's going on as well. The Australian women's team are in the semi-final of the World Cup tonight, so I'll have my eye on that. That gets started in about 18 minutes, -2.5, okay? So yeah, cricket obviously not big in the US, but it's kind of the baseball for big parts of the English colonised world. Those of you don't follow much of it. It's up there. One of my favourite sports alongside the basketball and the rugby. Now, Andrew Andrews taking it down court. Gives off. Marcus Lee working with him. That's probably a stereotype. It depends on whereabouts in Australia, Kaz. Cairns get some points back. Just under 3 remaining. So if you look at it, it's more a state-by-state sort of thing. In New South Wales and Queensland, which are two of the more populous states, as in more people, rugby is certainly the primary code. Australian rules when you get down to the south, into Victoria, Tasmania, and then across to South Australia and Western Australia. AFL tends to dominate in those states. But yeah, there's sports very big over here, both watching and participating. I think it's probably a lot more participation than there might be in the US per capita. There's a lot of guys. Most of my friends still play some sport at a pretty competitive level. Sort of well into your late 20s and into your 30s. Kyle Adnam goes for 3 for the Taipans. It misses. 2:20 on the clock, 47-43. Big block. Casey Prather is appealing for something. He's trying to suggest it was goaltending. It was miles away from the basket. Yeah, that's what he's going for. He's well clear. That wasn't in. It was a great block by Marcus Lee. Cairns nearly fumble a turnover, but they get away with it. McVeigh swings it wide. And a miss. Rain Smith's second 3-point miss. I think we might have had a foul on the rebound. Bit nervy for you, Fury. McVeigh goes to the line. McVeigh is 2 from 2 at the free throw line. Already 13 points to his name. Casey Prather and Tyrell Harrison in double digits as well. Prather 12. Harrison 10.6 rebounds already in the first half. McVeigh gets the first free throw to get it back to a 3-point game. I hope he also can get up here. I hope they can hang on. He misses the second, but Schofield gets the rebound. Trying to swing it wide. McVeigh for a 3, and that hurts. That levels it back up. Turned a missed free throw into a rebound and 3 points. Inside the last 2 minutes of this quarter. Jalen Adams gets a bucket and 1. If you're chewing those fingernails down at the moment, Fury really coming down to the wire. 1:49 on the clock. Adams is at the line. 2-point ball game. Had 24 lead changes in this game. That's wild. Cairns have led by 5. Bullets by 4. 1:49. 1 minute and 49 seconds. Adams makes the free throw. Andrew Andrews just runs around everyone, runs through the key and back out again. He's outside the arc, decided better of having a shot. Now he goes back in, swings it wide, looking for Schofield for 3. Misses. Andrews tries to get the rebound, deflects it into the hands of Murray for the Bullets. 1:25 on the clock. Adams with a shovel pass wide. They keep swinging. Cairns trying to defend tight. Murray, a little bit of a dribble. Thinks about the step back. Over the top, 2 points. 1:10 on the clock. Bullets lead by 5. Yeah, Brisbane definitely the better team, just not quite executing as consistently, Kaz, I think. I actually like the Bullets and the mix they've got now. I want to see a little bit more from Matthias as he settles in. Oh, there's a missed defensive read, but Purchase comes away with it for Brisbane. They get another stop. 48 seconds. Is that going to be a charge? Looks like a rolled ankle. The referee's going to say, they're not going to show me the referee. I'll come back to you. 48 seconds on the clock. Brisbane were driving into the lane. No, Galloway definitely not set, so that's going to be an offensive foul, I would think. Andrews for 1-3. Well, he's none from one so far, but we'll see how he goes. Kerio Pakare. I'm going to go with Kerry for you, mate. It's too much of a mouthful otherwise. So they go to the line. That's good. It was a defensive foul. Sorry, I threw you a red herring there, Fury. My bad. They've converted the first free throw. Make that 2. They lead by 7, mate. That's positive. 47.9 seconds on the clock. Yeah, I was going to say you'd be chewing down to the bone now, especially when I give you the wrong information. Here we go now. Andrew Andrews. So good that his parents named him twice. Spins away from Adams. Oh, Harrison, a big don't argue, just fends that away. That's a great block. 27 seconds on the clock. Brisbane in possession. Manage the clock, says Fury. Jalen Adams for a long-range 3 and drains it. That is a deep 3. They lead by 10. You're looking good here, Fury. 10 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds on the clock. Fumble. Brisbane ball. They'll get the last shot of the quarter. Prather from a third of the way down. Hits the backboard, but nothing else. 57-47 at halftime. Well done, Fury. Congratulations, mate. Glad for you. They made up for their first quarter blunders. Happy days. Winner, winner. So at the half, 57-47. Jack McVeigh still leading all comers for Cairns. 17 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound. Andrew Andrews, 9 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. And they're the only 2 leading the way for them. Quite a number here now going through for the Bullets. Tane Murray, 13 points, 2 rebounds. Casey Prather, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. And Tyrell Harrison, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. And it was a big block there at the end of that second quarter. We're going to take a bit of a break, guys. I will rejoin you with the second half. I will pop the hold screen up with the halftime score, and I'll be back in probably about 10 minutes or so. Look forward to talking to you then. And as I said before, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. We're bringing you plenty more of these games. 12.5, that's a juicy line now at 10 points. You need Brisbane to win the second half by 3 again. We'll see how that goes. But I'll be back in about 10 or so, guys. Thanks again for joining us so far. I look forward to seeing you in the second half. We're back for the second half, just counting down for it to get underway. Good to have those of you who've managed to hang around during the halftime break. Kaz and Fury, I can see you there. Still chasing Brisbane. What do we got, Fury? A bit of minus 11.5 locked in. There we go. Big round of NBL to come across the rest of the weekend as well. Let's have a quick look through who's going to play over the rest of the weekend. So tomorrow evening, so same time, Australian time as this one, getting underway, will be the Illawarra Hawks and the New Zealand Breakers. And then we'll have Cairns will be back in action on Saturday, 1st of November, down in Tasmania against the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, who went down last night. It's an early game. It's 5:30 our time, so 2 hours earlier than this tip-off. And then the Bullets will also be in action that night. They'll come up against the Sydney Kings. That's where Matthew Dellavedova is. You're asking about him before, Kaz. That's Saturday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And then we go to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix versus Perth Wildcats. And that is second playing fourth. That's on Sunday afternoon. And late on Sunday, it is the Adelaide 36ers taking on Illawarra. And finally, we close out the round with a big clash. It is Melbourne Cup Eve. Melbourne Cup is the biggest horse race on the Australian racing calendar and is a public holiday in Victoria. And so on the eve of that, Melbourne United will clash with Sydney Kings in a night game. So that will be Monday night. So we might even, if we can fit that into our schedules, we'll have a look at what's happening Monday night. We might try and do a coverage of that one. We'll see. It's a pretty big weekend at the moment. Now we do a bit of cricket as well, Fury, and some rugby league. Not a lot of other American sports at the moment, but yeah, we certainly cover quite a bit. We do some of the F1 as well. We haven't been doing any watch-alongs yet, but we certainly cover it, post-race wraps, etc. Underway now, started in the third quarter, so I'll fix the scoreboard up, make sure we're up to speed for you all. And that man that Breon, you're giving some guff to, Admiral Schofield, straight to the line, 9 seconds in. Yeah, right. I can imagine probably not a lot of popularity with it in the US, just depending on what books you're using and stuff. It's massive in sort of Australia, the UK, India, and Pakistan, the subcontinent. Well, if you're going as bad as you were saying, you're going Fury. Maybe they should have kept betting and they might have been winning from you. Well, Cairns get the first points of the third quarter. Oh, ignore that scoreboard. It's just glitched out for a second. There we go. It should be fixed now. Harrison trying to work. Prather driving into the paint, in the traffic, gets over the top, doesn't go for him. Gap remains at 9. Brisbane get the stop. Prather takes it down court. Working with Murray. Running around with Dukas. Harrison gets 2. There we go. Better for the Bullets. This game, 25 lead changes. That's quite phenomenal. Basket waved away there. It was a deep 3 for Cairns, but foul's going to be called. On Cairns. So Brisbane will get the ball. 11 points, the margin. Dukas thinks about a 3. A minute and a half gone in the third quarter. Actually had quite a good run a number of years ago. Fury on the women's cricket here, the domestic league in the 20 over cricket. Made quite a bit of money one off season. Then all of a sudden the next season they stopped betting. One season, then the next season they stopped betting it and offering the odds. Like I said before, the bookies don't continue to do things if they're not making money off them, if it's not worth their time and effort. Harrison at the line for the Bullets. Adds another to the score. Biggest lead of the night. Yeah, the scoring's very different, isn't it? It's just one of those things. I guess I've grown up with it, so it's second nature for me. But yeah, it's a different one. Look, the T20 cricket's pretty exciting. The 5-day cricket, when a match goes over 5 days, and that can really have some good ebbs and flows for live betting. As the Taipans get a couple back, 10-point ball game. A lot of people still think it's wild. You can play for 5 days and have what they call a draw, which is essentially neither team wins. I don't think there's any other sport like that. Yeah, they have us on the edge of our seat. The diehards and tragics amongst us. McVeigh step back for 3, doesn't get there. Prather rebounds. 10-point games, 7:30 on the clock. If you want to see some enthralling cricket, jump on YouTube and look up Glenn Maxwell 200. You got 200 in a crucial game for Australia when they're absolutely out and on their feet in a World Cup, and he ended up so badly seizing up with cramp that he couldn't move, but he was still managing to swing the bat and hit the ball out of the stadium as the Taipans get 3. Missed a bucket there for the Bullets. Apologies. It was Kyron Galloway with 3. Dukas thinks about 3 for the Bullets. He's too busy telling my cricket story. Dukas drains a 3 on a step back. Gets them back to a 12-point lead. Oh, yeah, you get the rain involved. There's a thing called the Duckworth-Lewis system. And it's basically, there's a thing that works out based on how many resources the team had, i.e. if they hadn't lost many of their batters, if many of their batters hadn't got out yet, then it helps them. If they've got lots of batters out when the rain comes, it harms them. And yeah, there's all sorts of weird tables and calculations. It's no one really knows how it works, but we all love it because it's just adds a little bit of random to it. It's a weird game thought up by English aristocracy. Yeah, it's always good when it works for you. Another 3-point shot. Back to back for the Bullets. That's Divas getting going. Loving that. The Bullets starting to take control here. They lead by 15 now. Just a little drive in and took Andrews off balance. Brisbane by at least 20. Well, my co-host previously, as Cairns have called a timeout here with 5:54 on the left to go in the third quarter. My co-host normally, or one of my co-hosts, Cambo, who is the basketball guru, or one of the basketball gurus we use and have on the show, he said Brisbane to win by 13 or more before tip-off. So he also had Adams, Prather, Harrison, and Matthias to score 10 plus. Prather and Harrison already there. Prather's got 14, Harrison 13. Jack McVeigh leading everyone with 19 points, 6 assists and 2 rebounds. That's a pretty good stat sheet. If you're just joining us, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Keep up to date with all of our basketball and other sporting content. Give the video a like as well. That'd be great. And get involved in the comments. Let us know where you're watching. I've got quite a few of you tuning in from the US. Having a bit of a punt on this on your, what would it be, your Thursday morning, Halloween Eve. Another 3-point shot from Brisbane. They get the rebound and they've got the foul. That'll be a shooting foul. So Dukas will go to the line. Yeah, the Taipans have got, I think, the worst offense and the worst defense at the moment in the league almost, if not exactly leading into this game. They've been really bad. As I said, I think they've lost 6 in a row now. Just has, trying to go back and see where they last won. I mean, we're not a long way into the season. Jikas gets another there. This could be a blowout. Brisbane finished with a flurry last week in the first game of the weekend as well. They lost there. I think it was great. Only a few weeks ago, we got Melbourne United and Southeast Melbourne both got to play some games against the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans came out here and did a couple of exhibition games. The last game that Cairns won was a month ago. They haven't won since the 28th of September. They don't play as frequently as the NBA sides, but yeah, that's a little bit concerning, I think. Cairns get the stop there. Scoreboard just frozen. Apologies. We're 70 to 57. 4 minutes 44 on the clock. And Cairns will go to the line, will they? Yeah, that is always good, isn't it? That is always good when it works that way. Cairns' shooting has just really dried up. They're shooting at 45% now. 19 from 42. Andrew Andrews, one of their key imports, is shooting at 33% from the field. Wide look 3. Bradkey's just come on, is it? No, that's Matthias. He gets his second 3. He likes shooting from range, does the new import. Brisbane will be happy with that. Campbell will be happy with that. He only needs 4 more points now. A couple more of those 3-pointers and he'll get home. And he just needs Jalen Adams to pick up 1 more point. Beautiful work there, Lachlan Barker. First real stint in the game. Brisbane are turning the screws here. Under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. They're on top of things. Game on. Cairns need to fire up here. Tyrell Harrison turns his opposite number Lee inside out and goes to the bucket for 2 and the line. He'll step up for a free throw as well, and they lead by 16. Biggest lead of the game. Harrison up to 15 points. Just outmaneuvered Marcus Lee there. Too good. Putting on a show in the second half here, Brisbane. They did the same thing, as I said, last Thursday night against New Zealand. Unfortunately, that time they'll come back from 24 points down. Not a lead at half time. Yeah, it's just so hard to know. We were talking about this the other night when we were doing the New Zealand and Brisbane game, and you know, one quarter was unders by 10, the next quarter was overs by 14. Yeah, it's really hard to know the pace and consistency. Sometimes if a team gets rolling, they can just a few threes from outside and all of a sudden just run away with it when it's been quiet. I think the higher level you get to, the more consistent it is, the more, well, not predictable, but if you've got enough data and you do enough research, the more likely you are. You're a better chance. But hey, at the end of the day, if it was easy to win on sports betting, the sports bookies wouldn't make money, right? All right, time to get into some of this cricket, I think. Don't mind me while I work on this. Harrison at the line. There we go. Does get the free throw. 3:48 on the clock. Brisbane lead by 17. Yeah, this is true. The other thing is betting unders is betting for things not to happen. So it's almost betting on watching a boring game, especially if you're going to watch it. So it's a hard watch when you're trying to bet for them to not do anything. Cairns get 2 back. But again, I think that's why bookies tend to, by law of averages, take more bets on overs and more bets on favourites at the minus. Statistically, I think it's about 55-45. So that should suggest that there's actually value in going the other way, but still hard to do it. Another foul call. Just having a look to see if anyone's in any sort of foul trouble yet. Alex Dukas for Brisbane has 3. Marcus Lee for Cairns actually has 4, their big man import. So that's a little concerning partway through the third quarter. So that could put some salt into the wound for them. Adnam, Galloway, 3-point shot for Schofield, and that barely even got any backboard, let alone any rim. Prather with the fake, rolls out. Adams is there. Yeah, foul called here on, was Adnam set? Looks like it's going to go Cairns' way. Legal screen by the look of it. Yeah, that's the way they've called it. If anyone's interested in the cricket, Australia 22 runs off the first 4 overs, 50 over match, 50 overs each. Australia batting first. Now Brisbane's going to go to the line. Oh, no, it is Cairns, sorry. Cairns at the line. A little distracted for a moment there, gents and ladies. Thanks you all for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying being kept up to date with what's happening here. Cairns get a free throw. They reduce the deficit back to 14. Enjoying chatting with Fury, but if anyone else is out there, jump into the comments. Make it a 3 or a 4-way conversation. We'd love to have some more in there. We had quite a few active people in the first half. Let us know where you're watching from. What time is it? What time is it where you are, Fury, at the moment? Be nice and early in the morning. It was like 10 to 6, 10 to 7, 10 to 6. Another 3-point shot, another miss for Brisbane. They get the rebound though. Prather going to work. Swing it wide. Adams for 3. Another miss. They can't buy a 3 at the moment. Prather bounces in and out. That was 4 missed 3s in about a minute. 2:50 a.m. My goodness. That is commitment, mate. That is commitment. Love having you here. I'll be well into my beauty sleep, which is clearly not working by that time. It's 8:50 p.m. here at the moment. Prather just fading away, and the ball fades out of the hoop too. Stays a 12-point ball game. If Cairns could just get a couple of back-to-back buckets here, they might get back into this late in this quarter. Admiral Schofield, that's some magic. 10 minutes to 9, 8:50 p.m. on the east coast of Australia. We've got daylight savings, so at the moment, with 7 different states, we've got 5 different time zones. It's confusing as all hell. Schofield's going to the line for N1 to cut it back into a single-digit ball game. Harry, good to see you, my friend. How are you? And Schofield gets that one. Oh, put that on the wrong team. Let's not do that. There we go. We're back to where we need to be. Oh, Harrison with a miss. That hurts Fury. Probably need some more. No, good to hear. Good to hear, Harry. Brisbane running away with this one, Harry. Been a bit too good. Nice steal there. Prather just takes it away from Schofield. He hasn't exactly had a night to remember. And then has he fouled him? He has. So Prather will go to the line for 2 free throws. Adam Ford's frustrated with that one, understandably so. Prather already 14 points. Harrison leads all the scorers for Brisbane. Jack McVeigh 21 for the Taipans. He's playing a bit of a lone hand. Prather makes that back to a 10-point lead. They led by as much as 17 earlier in this quarter. 37 seconds on the clock in the third. 10-point, make that. Remains at a 10-point. McVeigh with the rebound. Kyle Adnam. No Lamar Patterson tonight, so I don't know whether his injury replacement stint is gone. Yeah, I bet you did, Fury. That 17-point margin was a bit more comfy when you've got minus 11.5. Yeah, no Patterson tonight. They're only rolling a 10-man roster, not the full 12, actually, Harry. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, dear. Kyle Adnam inbounds and just throws it straight into the hands of Jalen Adams and then fouls him. Dear, oh dear. That's a coach killer. That's a 9th turnover for Cairns. You're watching a bit of the cricket as well, Harry. The Aussie women in the World Cup semi-final tonight. So much sport on them. Getting into the summer era. Oh, the cricket, the basketball, the soccer. Adams gets his first. Gets the second as well. If you tuned in for the first time, make sure you hit subscribe down below. Get involved in the comments as well. Give the video a like. All that jazz. Love to see you back again another time. As Cairns have a shot clock violation. And that will be it's three-quarter time. So 12-point ball game. Just enough to cover that line for you at the moment. If they can just keep that margin at that point, Fury. No, the cricket's on Amazon Prime, Harry, but Prime Video. But you don't need a paid subscription to watch it, I believe. So you can just sign up for free. Not even a free trial. I think you just watch it for free, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, you can watch that. And, yeah, Ryan Pappenheisen. We're talking about the rugby before for some of the Americans. One of the biggest rising stars as the rain comes down in India and everyone gets chased off just after Alyssa Healy's gotten out. One of the biggest, not even rising stars, but one of the, I guess, cult figures in the rugby league here in Australia has just announced that he's leaving his club midway through his contract. So I don't know where he's going just yet. A lot of talk about a Saudi-funded rugby union league. So he's going to change codes and go across to playing this Saudi league. They're calling Rugby 360, think Live Golf for Rugby. So the Saudis are throwing a lot of money at a lot of things. They've just got themselves a Tennis Masters 1000 event in a couple of years' time. Obviously got the Soccer World Cup coming as well in, that's about 6 or 7 years away, I think. It must be more than that. 2034 maybe. Is it 2030, Harry? You'll know. No, 2030 is the one that's Morocco, Portugal and Spain. So 2034 is Saudi Arabia. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to see Pappenheisen walk out, but I don't know if he's going to Rugby 360. Let's talk about just needing a break from the game. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully we see a lot of these mental health issues and stuff. So hopefully it's nothing major. Yeah, I get around all the American sports, Fury. So I'm a Miami Heat fan in the NBA. So they've had an okay start this season, which has been good. LA Chargers, who are having a pretty good season as well. I like them from the Phillip Rivers days. I'm sort of all over the country. It's not really a geographical thing. The NHL, I like the Penguins. And the baseball, I like the Braves, but I'm really enjoying the World Series at the moment. Obviously, we were talking about that before that. Game 2 the other day that went to 18 innings. Harry, the A-League is very hard to pick at the moment. I don't think I've really got a team that I would confidently say, as Brisbane nail a 3 to extend their lead out to 15, get this fourth quarter underway. Yeah, I don't really know that anyone's really putting me on notice at the moment. I think we need to watch probably a couple more weeks. Yeah, right. That makes sense. A lot of understanding now for you, Fury. Galloway, that is nice. That is a slick move to the hoop. Takes them to 69. They trail by 13. 1 minute gone in the fourth. Brisbane trying to turn the screws. You just needed to make sure they outscore them from here, Fury. Again, a big thank you to all of you who are tuning in. Enjoyed having you all along. Those who got involved in the comments, been great. If you haven't already, hit subscribe down below. You can find us on all your social media channels too, at The Chris Mack Show. Plenty of content coming your way. Brisbane get a 3 and Cairns straight away back with a 2. 14-point ball game. 8:35 on the clock. Brisbane will just try and control it and manage it from here. What about you, Harry? Do you watch much of the US sports? I know you're mad on your soccer. You're probably still a bit upset about Liverpool losing this morning. Another 3 for the Bullets. This is looking good for you, Fury. Out to a 17-point lead, equal to their best. Oh, wow. Casey Prather just sneaks up, steals the ball from behind. Cairns are napping, dunks it in, and all of a sudden it's 19 points, and he tells the crowd to stand and applaud. How do you like those? 90 to 71. I think we can stop the fight now. No one's told Lachlan Barker, though. He goes in and drives to the hoop. I bet you are, Fury. I bet you are. Casey Prather should be your new man, although he's about to get permanent residency here in Australia and wants to become a citizen. He wants to stay here. His wife's a wonderful reporter on the NBL as well. Want to be a good bacon and egg roll, Harry. Want to be a good bacon and egg roll. I was in at the gym this morning and we had 4 of us in there. One's a Newcastle fan, one's a Man City fan, one is a Liverpool fan, and one is a Chelsea fan. There was 3 happy people at the end of the gym session, and it wasn't anything to do with the absolute punishing we got from our trainer. Oh, well, Fury, it's been good to have you here, mate. You're always welcome to join us here anytime when we're doing the games. We tend to do sort of the Wednesday or Thursday games most weekends just because of some other commitments. I do some stadium announcing for one of the teams here in one of the professional leagues, so normally weekends are quite busy. Oh, dear, that hurts. Admiral Schofield, that was in for all money and then just spat back out. Lead by 19. Can they get it out to 20? Prather's going to do it all himself. Oh, and he's fouled. Oh, Jalen Adams has got to 16. Cambo's bet. He wanted Matthias as well. Everything else is going to salute. He could have taken Tane Murray. He could have taken Alex Dukas. They both got to double digits. But Dakota Matthias, not yet. Just 2 threes. They only had 1 shot from inside the paint. 2 from 7 outside the 3. None from 1 inside. Prather another free throw. Yeah, Crystal Palace just something different when it comes to those cup competitions at the moment, aren't they? Yeah, I haven't really watched any of the games. We were just sort of watching the scores as they went. They had us on the assault bike, so we didn't really have much focus for watching games. Yeah, well, it's all right. Let him have the win while he can have the win. I'll probably get knocked out next round. Andrew Andrews is down for the count here, as is Tyrell Harrison. Had a bit of a collision. Tyrell Harrison looks like he's been cleaned up with his middle leg. Yeah, soccer's a hard one. It's either a love or a hate for most people, or football, as the purists over in Europe will call it, but very different for many. Just trying to see where this bucket has been counted. It has. Harrison's coming off, which means that we are going to see Jensen Bradkey in for his first action of the night. So that means that we've got there 10 active players for both sides now. Good to see Bradkey getting some time in what is essentially junk time with 7 minutes to go. What about you, Harry? Who's going to take out the A-League from here? Surely be on the Jets after their win last week. Don't go stirring up people in the comments, Harry. Behave yourself. So, Fury, are you an Eagles fan? You must have been taking some great delight in the plights of the Jets this season. Adams from long range doesn't go. But they get the two. Largest lead of the game, 21 points there. Stretching it out with 6 minutes to go. Yeah, no, I'm not either. Harry might be. Harry's only a youngster. He plays some pretty decent football. He won his competition this year, Fury. Out of bounds. Brisbane ball, another turnover from Cairns. We're up to 10 now. 21-point ball game, Fury. They've got control of this. They just need to keep control for your bet to get home. I'm cheering for you. Was it again 11.5? You need them by 12. Time is 5:45 to go. There's still a bit of play to happen. Prather for 3. No good. Right on the shot clock buzzer. Andrews drives down court. Cairns trying to switch up the tempo. That's a nice bucket. Mojave King's back out there, the former Lakers draftee. Divas for Prather. Prather's their go-to here. Fumbles. Andrew Andrews dives on it, comes away with it, gets a little pop pass for King. Nice bounce pass in. And the second unit going to work here for the Taipans. My Watt Mag gets a bucket. 17-point ball game and Brisbane timeout. Sydney Kings, yeah, look, I tell you what, if they don't win a couple of games soon, I think he might be one of the goats of the coaching world, but Brian Goorjian could be on his way out, I think, Harry, which I don't want to see. They need another import. We were actually talking about it before. I would love to see them break the bank, get Ben Simmons back to Australia, see if they can get some value out of him. We get bums on seats. Just let him cook. Let him play a bit of freehand basketball. Put Delhi back on the bench. Play a bit of a different looking lineup. Give some options around Xavier Cooks as well. Because at the moment, Kendrick Davis is working, but not as well as he should be. And the rest of the team's not working. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, Harry, being a Newcastle boy, but Ben Simmons, obviously from Newcastle originally, played for the South Newcastle Lions in rugby league in his junior days. So basically, he's a Knights junior. Another Knights junior they let go. Yeah, he played some just juniors, mate, like under 10s or under 11s. He was about 3 foot taller than everyone else at that point. But yeah, he spent some time here. His dad played for the Newcastle Falcons when they used to play in the NBL. Newcastle had a team which they should definitely bring back. 5 minutes to go, Fury. 5 minutes of game time. Jalen Adams doing the work. Bounce pass for Brad Key. He wasn't expecting it. He's been having a nap on the bench all night and hasn't quite woken up yet to get involved. Mag doing some nice work. That's a nice move in under the hoop. Back to 15. Full of all sorts of useless information like that, Harry. Adams going to work, fakes up, turns, spins, fades away, and it goes 2 points back. Just a little bit of buffer. They're making you work for it, Fury. You're just joining us and you haven't been with us before, make sure you hit subscribe down below. Keep you up to date with all the videos that are dropping and all of our watch-alongs. We've got quite a few coming up over the next week or so. A few basketball ones as well. Give the video a like too, which is always great because it shows a few more people coming along and gets them around the basketball. If you're watching on a computer, I've only just discovered this. If you hit the like button on a basketball video, the thumb turns into a basketball. If you do it on a cricket video, it turns into a cricket ball. Oh, well, yeah, that's fair enough. Well, the Bullets have just given you a 3, so that'll help. Brought up the ton. Oh, no, they're saying it was a 2. He's toe on the line. Still, 181. That's good with 3.5 on the clock. Missed 3 from Cairns. Swatted away. Mag nearly had it. 3-point shot now missed by Matthias. Open 3. That would have got him over the 10 points for Cambo's bet. He would have had all legs up. Oh, so it's just your winnings, Fury. I thought you were saying you doubled down. I thought you went all in. I was like, that's a ballsy manoeuvre. Well, the Suns come back out in the cricket meanwhile, so they're back on there, Harry. 1 for 25 after 5.1. Alyssa Healy's out. That'll be, I'll have to recap the highlights of that in the morning. Get that all back together. Jalen Adams with 2 points. 21 points again. Back out to their biggest lead of the night. 3 minutes to go. Yeah, they're going to work again, Brisbane. They got the stop. Matthias is trying to do it. Harrison goes in. Prather gets the rebound, pops it over the top. Still got 10 to shoot. They're panicked, Brisbane. They're rushing. Harrison's going to go to the bucket, is he? Is that going to count, or was there already a foul on Matthias? Tell you what, Matthias, when you look at him, looks like the sort of guy you would see in a pickup league at your local gym. He looks nothing special at all, but he can hoop. Get a timeout here. Don't know if we've got a challenge or what's happening. I'm just mopping the floor up. All seems a little confusing. We'll work out for a moment. Yeah, Gorge is Brian Gorgian. Harry, sorry, I just saw that. Originally an American, but he's been out here for a long time. He coached the Australian Boomers for a while as well. I'll tell you what, that might be against his coach's challenger. That might actually be a charge against him versus a 5th foul for Marcus Lee. No, they've turned it down. Unsuccessful. Let's see. Marcus Lee is now fouled out of the game, so that's the end of his night. 2 minutes 30 on the clock, 21 points. So it's going to take Brisbane basically falling asleep from here, I would suggest. 9 points to work with, Fury. What's your prediction for Saturday's game, Harry? Harrison gets another 2. $23 points. That is a big lead. They swing wide, 3-point shot for the Taipans. Doesn't go. Harrison, another rebound. I'll tell you what, if Dakota Matthias finishes on 8 points, I'm going to feel for Harrison gets the bucket and goes to the line. This is blowing out now, Fury. 25 points with a free throw to come. 2:03 on the clock. I would think you should be home now. Thanks, mate. Yeah, hopefully you can go and get some sleep now and enjoy your Halloween tomorrow, my friend. Congrats on the winnings. Yeah, we really struggled to close out games last year, Harry, I think. So, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good to be back out there, that's for sure. Looking forward to being on the microphone, getting some hype happening, hopefully a good crowd as well. A little bit of rain about, but not too much that it should ruin the afternoon. Might make it hard to throw some paper planes. Thanks again, Fury. We'll see you soon, my friend. Matthias trying to get to work. Can he get another bucket? He needs one bucket. Oh, beautiful work there. Dalton hasn't played a lot of ball tonight. Just under 5 minutes, but gets another bucket. Yeah, nine. Look, anything under 8 is a fail. 8 to 9's okay. 9's decent. Above 10's good. That's a successful afternoon. I'm just really looking forward to seeing everyone cleaning up those paper planes. Can't believe they're giving away 25k. It's unlikely to win, but it's a chance. Another foul. 1:04 on the clock. This is an absolute blowout. Who's going to the bucket? Is it Dalton? They're basically resting all their big nose. Prather, Adams, Harrison, all on the bench. It is Dalton going to the line. That is a free throw action that is marginally better than mine, but doesn't get a point. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they'll get some, hopefully they'll bring 1,000 or so. All about some good travelling fans. There we go. He gets the second one. They go to 110. And this is tough for Cairns. This makes it now, by my maths, 32 days since they've won a game. So nearly 5 weeks. It'll be basically 5 weeks by the time the next play. And they are under the pump. The Taipans, Adnam for 3. Love a bit of Adnam, but he can't get that to go. 43 seconds, 41 seconds. Need a Matthias basket here. He's got the ball, has he? No, he hasn't. Now they give it off. Bradkey, that is a horrible pass, but they'll get the ball back, the Bullets, after Adnam gets the last touch. 33.4, 12 on the shot clock. We all, she wrote, well done to the Bullets. They will improve up to 4 and 6. They'd leapfrog the Sydney Kings. The Taipans go to 2 and 8, a 20% winning record. Far from ideal. 3 points there for the Kings. For the Bullets, sorry. The Kings, I got mixed up a little bit there. Kyle Adnam's going to have 3 seconds difference. Galloway will take a 3. Drains it. Gets some junk time points. See what Matthias got over the line with his 10. So Cambo has got there. All right. Well, you enjoy that, Harry. I'll see you on Saturday, mate. Enjoy your day tomorrow, and I'll catch you on Saturday, friend. Thank you for tuning in. Big thank you to everyone that's tuned in. If you haven't already, hit subscribe down below. Appreciate all those that have got involved in the comments as well. It's been good to have you on board, and it's been a bit of a drubbing, unfortunately. Cairns put up a fight for the first half, but Brisbane, one of the fastest finishing teams in this competition. They've shown that they do so well in second halves, and with 1.5 on the clock, Cairns will have an inbound. But you would have to think that will be all she wrote. Marcus Lee fouled out of the game for the Taipans late in the fourth, but it's been Jack McVeigh playing a sole hand essentially on his return. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Others in double digits. Kyron Galloway got to 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And Andrew Andrews, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists. A double-double for him, so well done. Speaking for double-doubles, Casey Prather, 21 points and 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Tyrell Harrison, 21 points as well, equal top billing for the Bullets. He got 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks. Tane Murray, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Alex Dukas, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Then off the bench, 20 points for Jalen Adams, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. A big night for the former MVP. And the new import, Dakota Mathias, 11 points, 3 threes he got in the end. So he and Dukas leading the way with the 3-point shooting. They shot for 40% outside 3 and also picked up 4 rebounds and 2 assists. So looking like a good contributor for them. But it is the Brisbane Bullets running out very comfortable winners here, 113-85 over the Cairns Taipans. A big thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, I know I've said it a few times tonight, hit subscribe. You can also find us on all your social media channels at The Chris Mack Show. But until tomorrow night, we'll bring you the second T20 International from the MCG, talking Australia versus India in the cricket. Appreciate you tuning into your home of the Black and White Sports. No grey opinions here. And we look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.